Time passed differently on our Earth than it did on Goku's Earth, so me and Jack Hanma had already defeated all the prison convicts, and we also defeated Pickle, and since Jack Hanma didn't like Pickle, he beat him half to death and Pickle ended up in the hospital with a broken neck. And then we even fought Miyamoto Musashi, the legendary swordsman, and me and Jack Hanma both easily defeated Musashi Miyamoto, and so did Yujiro Hanma. And then I decided to bring back Grandpa using the same cloning procedure they used on Miyamoto Musashi, and when we brought back Yujiro Hanma, my grandfather, Yujiro Hanma put his clothes on that we had prepared for him, and he said, "Hello Yujiro, my son." And unlike Yujiro Hanma, when I read Yuchiro's mind, I saw that he was actually a very good father to his son, and he was even a wonderful father, and Yujiro just hated it when his father Yujiro Hanma would leave him and his mother alone while he went to fight in some wars. And after I basically resurrected Yujiro Hanma, we had another maximum tournament honoring Yujiro Hanma in welcoming him back into the tournament. And when Yujiro saw me and Jack Hanma fight, he said, "The future is very bright, your son has created stronger warriors and stronger Hanmas, you all don't need me anymore." And then I said, "Yes we do, Grandpa, because me and Jack Hanma might have children soon and we might need your guidance and wisdom." And then Yujiro Hanma said, "I will do my best, grandson." And I bowed to Yujiro, and after the maximum tournament involving my grandfather Yujiro Hanma and Musashi Miyamoto, I went to my home with Kozu Matsumoto and I made love to her for a few days in every sexual position. And I recently found out that I had gotten Kozu Matsumoto pregnant, and Jack Hanma actually ended up with an American woman that's also a mixed martial artist, and her name is Ronda Rousey. And I also heard she's pregnant, and my brother Jack Hanma actually trained with Ronda Rousey every day, making her bigger and stronger than ordinary women, basically turning her into something like a Hanma woman sort of anyway. And Grandpa Yujiro Hanma actually told me all about it, that if a Hanma trained an ordinary human, they would become physically superior within months. Creating a dominant female isn't hard, so I started doing the same thing with my girlfriend Kozu Matsumoto because I love her very much and I trained her. I found out that my girlfriend likes having sex every day, and Yujiro Hanma began to get very impressed by all this, so he decided to do the same thing with my mom Emi Akazawa. So he trained her and she got bigger and taller and more curvy, and after that Yujiro Hanma and my mother had sex every day, and Yujiro Hanma enjoyed it a little too much and he actually fell in love with my mom Emi Akazawa. And after I brought back Diane Neal with my magical key energy powers, Yujiro Hanma also legally married Diane Neal and he trained her too, and I had sex with my beautiful girlfriend Kozu Matsumoto so much that I lost count. And then eventually Goku came and picked us all up during a sparring match and sparred Goku, and I knocked him out. They wanted me on their team for the Tournament of Power, so I went with them along with my brother and my fiancée Kozu Matsumoto because she's now pregnant. She can't fight in the tournament just like Jack's wife Ronda Rousey, so they decided to go with us and watch the fights in the Tournament of Power. And I fought Jiren this time and I won against everyone else in the Tournament of Power. And when I made the wish to the Super Dragon Balls, I said I wish to restore every universe that was erased by Grand Zeno during the Tournament of Power. And then the Grand Priest asked me, "Are you sure?" And then I said, "Yes sir." And then the Grand Priest said something shocking, "You have all proven yourselves worthy and you will all be spared from the erasure of Grand Zeno." And that angered Yujiro Hanma and he said, What do you mean erasure? None of my people were informed about this. You don't have the right to decide if innocent people live and die. I don't care if you're gods or not," Yujiro Hanma said with conviction. And then Beerus the Destroyer said, "Watch your tongue, you muscular buffoon." And Yujiro Hanma said, "How dare you? After everything me and my family fought for, we should be properly rewarded for our actions here, not punished. And we had no idea about the consequences of this tournament. We weren't made aware." And then Grand Priest said, "You're right, I forgot to mention the rules and everything else to them." And then Grand Zeno said loudly, "Grand Priest." And then Grand Priest said, "Sorry for that, I will rectify this problem. You will be able to use the Dragon Balls in Universe 7. And I said, "No, I want permission to learn how to create our own Dragon Balls for our own universe." And then Grand Zeno said, "I will allow this." And then Grand Priest said, "But sire." And then Grand Zeno said, "Silence, my word is law. They will be allowed to make their own Dragon Balls and they may learn